I just love a smart man. But I could learn to like a dumb one if he reads the right books. What is up, sapiosexuals? Thank you for turning on Sex in South Beach with your girl, Dr. Sanjaya, America's favorite sex educator. So the sex situation we're getting into right now is all about reading your way to better erogenous experiences. Yes, indeed, books can get you some booty. Now today's show ain't for everybody, only the sexy people. We are talking about smart people, people who understand that their sexuality, their sexual desires, their sexual expression, it is something that evolves over time. And you know what? It's all like COVID-y out there. So you know what I gotta do? I gotta start today's show with a COVID story. You know what I did the other night? I took my girlfriend out to dinner. Well, actually, that's not really true because she did end up paying, but I invited her out, okay? She's just like not only super beautiful, but also a baller, okay? So we went out to dinner, just the girls, two moms, having a nice bite at kind of a little hot spot, a little swanky something. Of course, it was outdoors because, we're in Miami and COVID is everywhere and I'm still not comfortable eating inside. I'm going to be honest with you. I really don't have the time to check everybody's ventilation system to see what's going on with that. So it's just nice to be easy breezy. Let's eat outside by the water. My beautiful girlfriend and me, two ladies out. Because it's COVID, ain't nobody got a babysitter. That means the babies are at home with who? Their daddy. That's who, okay? So we're out there having a good time. Just, a couple of cocktails, couple of appetizers, couple of courses. And right when our bill comes, what? That's when the waiter brought over a round of drinks. And he said, you know what? These were sent to you, ladies, by the table of men over there. And what? We looked over at that table and, we had not even noticed them all night long. Or at least I had not noticed them, okay? My girlfriend later on, she did tell me a different story. She did peep them when we were sitting down and said a couple were cute, okay? But I had not noticed these guys. So back to my story and back to why books and reading books are so sexy. Well, these guys, they sent over a round of drinks. Then they had the audacity to walk over. And I was like, yo, you need to remember COVID, okay? Sit your ass back down. The restaurant's nearly empty. We can hear what you have to say. So walk back, back it up. Not 6 feet. Let's just be safe, like 12 feet away, okay? And tell me what you got to say. And you know what they said? What? One of them hollered on out. Have you ever read Mating in Captivity by Esther Perel? And I was like, what? Inside of my head, I was like, hell yeah, I love me some Esther Perel. And Mating in Captivity is a book that every adult should read. But, we were out in public, so I did not say that. I was just tickled, though. I was pretty tickled that this guy yelled across the restaurant, have you ever read Mating in Captivity by Esther Perel? And I was like, you know what? This is something in my business as a sexologist. That is a book that I call required reading for anyone who's ever had sex with the same person for a long ass time. Okay? Well, that book is like a mandatory textbook. And so, I did soften up a bit because, even though it's COVID and even though I did make them stay 12 feet away, I really did feel deep down inside a man who reads some good books about desire and relationships and sexuality. Well, damn, you know what? Ooh, that's just the type of man, I'm thinking a smart lady like me should get to know. So it didn't really go any further, but they did rattle off some other books. And I will tell you, I was super impressed that these gentlemen had read all of these wonderful books about dating, about relationships, about female sexuality, and about trying to make it work in a committed relationship. And I was like, you know what? These are some progressive gentlemen. And if I wasn't so married and all, I might still, get to know one of them. But instead, we just enjoyed our complimentary cocktail and prayed that there are other men out there for all the single ladies, because you know what? Every woman deserves a man who reads, especially a man who reads a good books about, how are we going to keep the sexual relationship together? Not only together, how are we going to keep it good? You know what I'm saying? And that is exactly what a good book does. It teaches you something important. And this podcast right here that I'm spitting right now, well, it was inspired by that night. Because by the time these guys finished telling us about all the books they had read, my girlfriend was like, you know what you need to do, girl? You need to do a podcast on the best books for banging somebody that you love. That's when I realized 25, 35, maybe 45 people have asked me since COVID about what are your favorite relationship, marriage, sex books? You know what I'm saying? Ever since COVID hit us, it seems like people are really trying to make commitment. You know what? They're trying to make it a little sexier. And that's what I am here to help you out doing. Something like that. You know what I'm saying. Because you know what? Nothing has tested romance more like being quarantined together. But the upside is that all the sexy people probably have more time to read now. And that is a good thing, okay? You can't go inside of a restaurant, at least I can't, and feel completely comfortable. And you know what that gives you? Less time getting dressed, less time putting on your lipstick. I mean, ladies, we are saving so much money on lipstick these days because nobody ever sees our lips. I mean, hopefully one day they will see them again. But right now, what? It is a time to save on your lipstick. Okay, let me tell you. A few years ago, my hubs and I, we got into the rhythm of reading relationship books simultaneously. I mean, we didn't read them together like in bed. I read to him and he read to me. No, none of that happened, okay? But we did read the same book at the same time, and we could talk about the ideas within each book. And I will tell you something important. It really helped strengthen our relationship, and it really improved a lot. But just like everything else, you have to keep it up in order to get results. So I highly recommend reading books along with your partner if that's possible in your relationship. But if it's not, don't you worry about that, boo. You're still going to end up with a better relationship, because in the end, your happiness and your satisfaction, it is really all about you. And don't you ever forget that. If you are not happy with you, then you're not going to be happy with anybody else, and vice versa. So the books we're about to recommend right now, they're about to help you have a better relationship with yourself and the person who you love now, or who you are going to love down in the future. So let's do the damn thing and get down to the nitty-gritty on great sexual relationship books. And you know what? We're going to get straight to the point. I'm seriously going to just graze over the public description for you, and then I'm going to let you know why I think it is very good, okay? So the first book you all need to read is She Comes First, The Thinking Man's Guide to Pleasuring a Woman by Kerner. Because you know what? As women everywhere will attest, when it comes to understanding female sexuality, most guys know more about what's under the hood of a car than under the hood of a clitoris. And while it seems that men have struggled valiantly since the dawn of time to find ways to reliably elicit the female orgasm, rare is the guy who has the modesty to ask, "What do I do?" Ironically, the answer has always been right there on the tip of his tongue. Woohoo! Yes, welcome to the world of She Comes First, where the mystery of female satisfaction is solved and the tongue is proven mightier than the sword. Yeah, baby, that's what I'm talking about. The reason why I really love this book by Kerner is because it just explains female sexual pleasure in such an easy, straightforward, how-to way. It is written by a man, and it is written for men. Because you know what? There is an epidemic. There is an epidemic of orgasms. It is a problem. Women are not having enough orgasm when they're engaging in sex, okay? You never hear men saying, you know what? I had some great sex, but I didn't have an orgasm. You never hear that, right? Does not happen. And the reason why I really recommend all people, especially men, or anybody who loves a woman, basically, Everyone should read She Comes First because it just gives you insight so you know what to do, boo. And if you know what to do, guess what? Ain't nobody gonna have an easy time leaving you. She gonna be like, oh my God, but he made me feel so good. Oh, I can't. And you gonna get away with murder just because you're really, really, really good in bed. Booyah! She Comes First by Kerner. And book number 2, Mating in Captivity by Esther Perel. Yes, indeed, the same book those men yelled across the restaurant the other night when I was out with my girlfriend. Now, Esther Perel is a New York City therapist, and in this book she examines the paradoxical relationship between domesticity and sexual desire, and she explains what it takes to bring the lust home. Boom! The reason why I really like this book, seriously, is because it really talks about, look, what turns you on? It's really mystery, right? Not really knowing everything. That is really what turns a lot of people on, most of us. But when you're in a committed relationship, we really want transparency. We want to know everything about our person. And you know what that does? That kills the mystery in the relationship. And simultaneously, it has been known to kill desire. Oh, sad. So this book is all about that complex relationship, how you can be in a committed relationship with someone who you want to be completely transparent with, and at the same time, how you can keep the fire burning. So if you have ever loved someone and you want to keep on loving them for a long time, I highly suggest you read Mating in Captivity by Esther Perel. One of my very, very own role models. She is the bomb, let me tell you. Okay, now, if you are really in a long-term relationship and you're like, you know what, I just have no idea what to do, or you've been hurt in a long-term relationship and you're starting off fresh again, and you're like, you know what, I want to make sure I don't get hurt in the next one. And of course, there are no guarantees in love, right? All is fair in love and war. That's what they say. There's no guarantees. But a great book that I highly recommend is called His Needs, Her Needs by Willard F. Harley Jr. And this book is one of my all-time favorites. It was introduced to me by a good friend who runs the relationship ministry at his church. And y'all know I am not a regular type of church goer, but you know what? This guy, he's been married for 40 years, and him and his wife, they are just too romantic with each other and too cute. I am always trying to tell them, you guys need to get a room, okay? They have all kinds of routines in their relationship that help it thrive. Like when he comes home from work, he rings the doorbell and waits for his wife to open the door and invite him in. I mean, come on, that is too cute. But what I really like about this book is it identifies 10 of the most important needs that men have and that women have. And it shows partners how to understand and satisfy their lover's needs. I mean, the overall goal of the book is to make you absolutely irresistible to your partner and to be more creative in expressing your love and prevent all the problems that lead to affairs. Now, I really enjoyed this book and I highly recommend couples to reread it each year. A super cool feature of this book is that the chapters alternate between focusing on the man and then focusing on the woman. So when you read it together as a couple, each of you can spend one chapter examining an important need among men, and then the next chapter explores an important need for women. And remember, there's always audiobooks. You know what I'm saying? If paperbacks don't fit into your lifestyle anymore, all right? Now, if you have not read the 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work, and if you were in a marriage or you're in a long-term relationship or you gonna be, shacking up or whatever, I really think you should read The 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work by John Gottman. It has absolutely revolutionized the way that we understand, repair, and strengthen marriages. I mean, this guy, he has studied couples over so many years, and they have an observation lab. They can watch you, and they put heart rate monitors hooked up with you, audio recording, visual recording stuff in their lab. They can just watch a couple have a conversation. John Gottman and his team, they watch a couple have a conversation and they can predict whether or not they're going to be together. And the 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work, the reason why I love it, because it gives you very 7 straightforward straightforward things like do this and don't do this. And if you do this, it's going to F up your whole relationship. And if you don't do this, it's going to make things much more harmonious and much more likely to last. Not last like you bound to be together in misery. Last like you want to be with this person. You know what I'm saying? And they get you and you get them. And then you want to do them. Because when you want to do them, your stuff has what? A much, much higher chance of staying together. All right? Now, the fifth book I think all y'all freaky couples out there need to read, or make rather, is a personalized erotic novel. Did you know that you can have an erotic novel written about you and your boo doing some freaky deaky things over in France or wherever, in Egypt, over in Hialeah, I don't know, Caliocho, wherever you want to be doing your freaky leaky things, you can actually have an erotic thriller or a novel or a storybook written about you and your boo. And let me tell you, I have ordered one for my man a few years back, and then I dressed up in some lingerie, and we got into bed, and then I read it to him. But you know what? You don't ever finish that book, y'all. I mean, you might, but it's really just to get your juices flowing, imagining some sexual activities y'all ain't ever tried and probably won't be trying. But hey, it's like you're the star of a porn, but instead of a porn, it's an erotic novel. Let your imagination run wild. I mean, for example, one of the books from this company that makes these personalized erotic novels, they're called U-Star, but one of the books, it's called Guest House Games. This is a thriller, y'all. Guest House Games contains explicit sex scenes, graphic language, and the leading characters are in sex scenes with others. Oh no! This is all part of the warning before you order this book. Alone in their isolated beachfront guest house in the tropical paradise of Hawaii, our leading couple are enjoying a holiday of a lifetime. But an unexplained visit from a ghost needing help sees our couple drawn into the ancient Hawaiian spiritual world and into the exploration of their own deepest and most forbidden desires. While searching for clues to understand who this mysterious girl is that begs for the couple's help, they uncover a number of rooms equipped to fulfill every type of erotic fantasy imaginable at the remote guest house they are staying at. But will our couple be able to resist the quest for sexual pleasure to help put the spirit to rest and bring about justice for a 70-year-old tragedy? Or will they drown in the tides of history and their own passions? Ta-da! Find out how it all ends when you order your own erotic novel at ustarnovels.com. That's you as in the letter U, STARNOVELS.com/personalized romance novels. That's ustarnovels.com/personalized romance novels. And I swear, y'all, I do not work for the company. All right, y'all, I am totally getting off track. But before I go, I do realize that some of y'all might be wondering, why didn't I mention a book about going downtown on a man? I mean, damn, Dr. Sanjaya, you were all like heaping and hollering all about this book. She Comes First, about how men should learn all about women and how to please a woman. But what about the men's? What's up with that? You know what? I'm going to give you one tip for that. Sit on his lap facing him, okay? That should turn him on pretty much, because men are different from women. But if you ugly, girl, give him your back. Seriously, okay? Turn around, all right? No, seriously. There are books about how to please and squeeze. All his man parts, you know what I'm saying? How to perform fellatio, how to squeeze while he's inside you, I even teach a class on it called, Licked, the Art of Oral Sex. And it's coming soon to a web browser near you. Yes, Mom, I know you're so proud of me. But here's the beauty of today's show. The reason why I did not mention a book about pleasing a man, because the whole point of this show is what? Share this show with your lover. Because you know what it's going to do? Inspire a conversation you ain't never had before. That's what I'm talking about. That's my goal. I want you to spend 10 minutes listening to the show with someone who you love, or at least someone who you want to do. All right? And then at the end of this show, it's going to start up a lusty, sexy conversation that's going to lead to what? Some more sexual satisfaction for you tonight. At the end of the show, you're going to turn to your partner and say, well, you want to tell me how you like it? Tell me, boo. And don't forget to thank me later. Booyah! All right. It's time for your climax, y'all. When I give you a little something to remember me by. And today, that something is going to be a list of books. That's right. Books that keep you banging. Book number 1, She Comes First, The Thinking Man's Guide to Pleasuring a Woman by Kerner. Book number 2, Mating in Captivity by Esther Perel. And book number 3, His Needs, Her Needs by Willard F. Harley Jr. Book number 4, The 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work. And booyah, here we are at book number 5. Get yourself your personalized erotic novel at ustarnovels.com/personalized romance novels. Y'all, I so appreciate you letting me chat with you today about some books that are going to make your love life just a little bit better. You're going to feel lucky tonight. I do hope you'll read a few from the list and let me know how you like them. Simply email me at sonjaya@drsanjaya.com. That's SONJIA at DRSONJIA.com. Seriously, stay in touch, people. Send me your questions and your comments, and you know what we gonna do? We gonna talk about it. Yes, we are. I swear I'm out here doing God's work, one orgasm at a time. Baby, let me know how I can help. Seriously, y'all. For your daily dose of nookie knowledge, check me out on all the social media networks. That's DRSONJIA on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Come on, baby. You know you want to link up. Thanks so much for tuning in to Sex in South Beach, where everyone comes for healthier, happier sex. Dr. Sanjaya, you smell so good. I swear, every day somebody says that to me. And you know what I wear every single day? Sense Aromatherapy Body Oil. And every day I smell good and feel good. Get yours now. SENSE bodyoil.com.